I'm Katie Bailey, and this is my friend, and she and I are going to do a little video today on teaching parents and children on how to hold a crayon correctly. Learning to write is a natural skill. It's automatic. However, learning to hold a crayon is something that has to be taught. When children are very small, the babies, they begin to develop manual dexterity and pincer grasp, which helps them when they are ready to learn how to use handwriting tools. Number one would be pick up and hold. 2 would be aim and scribble, and 3 is write. So what pick up and hold is you just become familiar with the crayon, learn how to hold it automatically. When you aim and scribble, you're going to put a dot on your paper. Can you put a dot on your paper? And then what you're going to do is you're going to put your crayon right on that dot, and you're just going to scribble. You're going to go back and forth on top of the dot. And the reasoning behind this is that the child is not focused on the great work they're doing, or someone who's looking at them, or helping, or having their teacher talk to them about what a great job they're doing. They're just focused on holding their crayon correctly. And then the third stage of handwriting is actually making letters. You're going to go from top to bottom, left to right, uppercase and lowercase letters. Okay. Now, the standard grip for handwriting is called a tripod grip, and you're going to be using 3 fingers. You're going to be using your thumb, you're going to be using your index finger, and you're going to be using your middle finger. And I painted my hand so that you could see visually, easily, the 3 fingers that the child is going to be using. You can also do that to your child too. You can use nail polish, you can use decals or little stickers, because boys don't usually like nail polish, so we can't use nail polish on boys. But you can also use a magic marker, a washable magic marker, and just paint the 3 fingers that they're going to be using, so they know when they pick up a crayon, those are the only fingers that they'll be using. So the tripod grip uses those 3 fingers. Now, what I'm going to also talk to you about is hand dominance. Lots of times when children are very little, they don't know whether to use the left hand or they use the right hand. And if a parent needs a little help in that area, what you're going to do is watch your child so that you can see what hand they typically use. What hand do they use to open a door, zip their jacket, brush their teeth? Maybe the fork or the knife or the spoon. What do they always use to pick that up with? That would be their most skilled hand and their dominant hand. Once you have determined the dominant hand, then that is the hand they should always use when using a crayon or a writing instrument. What we're going to do with our friend here is also show you how to sit in a chair the right way, posture, so that it's a lot easier to write correctly and easier. So we have her in a chair with a table. She has her feet on a stool because this is a large table, like a kitchen table or a dining room table. So her feet can't touch the floor, and that's one of the most important things when you have correct posture for handwriting. So we've got her in a chair. Her tummy is going to touch the table. The back of her back is touching the back of the chair. Her feet should be flat on the floor. If you don't have, if her feet can't touch the floor, then what you're going to do is you're going to put a little stool or maybe a box so that her feet can have support from the ground. And then the other thing that she needs to remember is she has to sit up straight, and she's going to be using her other hand to hold the paper. Can you put your other hand up this way? And she's ready to start. Correct posture. And a parent should remind them how to sit as they're coloring or writing, so that they're always aware of their posture. Okay, now comes the best part. You get to listen to me sing. What we're going to do is I'm going to teach my friend a special song so that she knows which fingers to use when she is holding her crayon. She's going to be using her thumb. Can you put your thumb up there? Just your thumb. And her index finger, actually we have a special name for that, it's called pointer. And her middle finger is going to be called tall man. And if you put all your fingers up there, you know why he's called tall man, because he's the tallest finger in your hand. And when we teach the song, those 3 words, terms, are there so the children will remember what they're called. So we're ready to start. So your thumb is going to be bent. Your index finger, your pointer, is going to be on the tip of the crayon. And your middle finger, or your tall man, is going to be on the side so it supports the crayon. The last 2 fingers are going to tuck under, and they're going to give your hand support when you start to write, okay? So, I'm ready for my song. Are you ready to listen? I don't know if you've ever heard this one before. It's called The Crayon Song. Pick up a crayon, pick up a crayon. This is easy to do. Pick up a crayon, pick up a crayon. I just tell my fingers what to do. My thumb is bent, pointer points to the tip. Tall man uses his side. I tuck my last 2 fingers in and take them for a ride. Now I'm holding it just right, but not too tight. Every finger knows what to do. Did you like that song? Want to sing it with me? I'll sing it one more time. Ready? Pick up a crayon, pick up a crayon. This is easy to do. Pick up a crayon, pick up a crayon. I just tell my fingers what to do. My thumb is bent, pointer points to the tip. Tall man uses his side. I tuck my last 2 fingers in and take them for a ride. So that's the crayon song. And the nice part about having painted nails is that you can easily see which fingers go on the crayon. One thing you do need to do is make sure your child knows this song backwards and forwards so that it's ingrained. It's easy for them. For example, if you see them holding their crayon incorrectly, like possibly 2 fingers on top, all you have to do is make a gentle reminder and say, tall man on the side, and they'll take tall man and reposition him to his correct spot. So that is a nice, easy way to learn where to put your fingers. Now I'm going to show you a couple of games that you can do and play with so that you can strengthen your hand, your fingers, your wrist, your arm, and your shoulder, because you need all of those when you are writing. Clay is easy to pinch and mold and roll into snakes, and clay is much nicer to use than something called Play-Doh because it's stronger and creates more resistance, so it gives you much more strength in your hands. Another thing that is good to use is something like beads that you can string. If you'd like to do that, you may. And what this does, it's a bilateral skill, so that what it does is it takes your dominant hand, which in my case is the right hand, and it makes that stronger. Your other hand is the helping hand, and that's the one that isn't as important, but you're using 2 hands, you get manual dexterity this way. Another thing is sewing cards. Anything that can be, that is a manipulative type toy is good for their hands and their wrists and their fingers, and it's another interesting thing to use. Playground chalk is also fun to use. They love using this outside, especially in the summertime. Do you use playground chalk? Me too. And what you do is just write on the blacktop, and the nice thing about playground chalk as well as crayons is it has drag and resistance. Something like a pen or a pencil or a magic marker are not the best things to teach your child to use because they can't feel it. But playground chalk and crayons have more of a resistance on the surface. Also, an easel is a good idea to use, a stand-up easel, because the child has to stand and they're working against gravity, which uses every single part that they're going to be needing for handwriting. You're going to be using your fingers, you're going to be using your wrist, you're going to be using your whole arm and your shoulder, which is what you're going to do when you start working in kindergarten, especially. Unifix cubes, which are things that you push together, are also good. Legos are also good. A playground ball, of course, is very good because you're using your wrist to bounce up and down. And what happens after you are holding your crayon the right way, correctly, it also transfers over to pencils and to magic markers and to games that have things like styluses, so that when you do go to use some other tool that is a pencil-like, you're still going to be holding it the correct way, okay, with your 3 fingers. Another little game that you could use to strengthen fingers and pincer grip would be clothespins. Most people today have dryers. They don't have clotheslines. So what you're going to do is try to use these in the classroom. You can use doll clothes, you can use things that you have cut out, and just set up a line so that the children will have a chance to use that pincer grip. They love these anyway. They have no idea what clothespin is. Great. So one more thing, something that I used to do when I was a kid. We had these big, huge garage doors, and I would take my paintbrush and just water, and would paint our names on top of the garage doors. It was a lot of fun. So I hope we taught you how to hold the crayon correctly today using 3 fingers, your thumb, your pointer, and tall man. Okay, thank you.